Welcome everybody to another episode of the Everything Horror Podcast. My name is Paul Doski, and today we're talking to you from 6 feet under with tales of gooiness. Well, maybe 3 tales, but anyway, you will know the mind behind the guy who did Night, Urban Legend, the guy who did Night and Urban Fears, Nicholas Jacobs. Nicholas, welcome back again. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a while.
I'll be here.
Oh yeah, you too. And with this crazy virus outbreak, it's making people just want to stay inside. And with those people staying inside, why not check out one of Nicholas' movies like The Night or Urban Fears. Almost did Urban Legend again because. Just for the record, we were talking before this recording, and so I kept saying Urban
So it's a little weird, like,
so now,
to get introduced
that's all
again.
I want to say is Urban Legend instead of Urban Fears. So, yeah. Anyway, so if you're home trying to stay away from the Amazon Prime. No, I'm done. If you need something to watch, go on Amazon Prime and look up Night or Urban Fears. All right? There. All right. Let's just continue with this. So, Nicholas, we haven't had you on since Night, and you did release a couple things, actually, after Night, which was the Urban Fears and a fan-made film for Hellraiser. That word there, it's always a tongue twister and a half. And then we got the upcoming film from you called Tales from 6 Feet Under. So where should we begin with you?
I guess we could start, let's talk about Urban Fears, and then we'll go from there. And then we'll make our way to 6 Feet Under.
Well, I can only tell you this much. I just only know that it's released and that Darsh was kind enough to do a review for it. Otherwise, I haven't honestly not seen it yet, and I just know I was a special thanks for it or something like that, and that's about all I know. So
because you helped out with the funding.
Yeah, the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that. What made you want to do a GoFundMe thing for Urban Fears?
Well, the movie was completed at the time. The only thing that we needed funding for was film festival submissions. So so I wanted to go bigger with Urban Fears, a bit put myself out there more, and we submitted to a whole bunch of film festivals. We got into Fear NYC, where I won an award for Best Original Score for Urban Fears, and then the day after I won, which was Halloween of last year, it went live on Amazon on November 1st.
Ooh. Good year. Yeah. Halloween was actually when I released my little short debut called The Passenger, as you already know. And Halloween is when I released mine. And then after that, I released like the bloopers and some other stuff that I had, like casting crew interviews too. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, but it's not really about me right now. It's about all you. But wow, congratulations on your win there for the original score. And before we just recorded, you were telling me that basically you didn't even know how to make music, and you make music for this, and then you win.
Yeah.
So how did that even feel to you? Like, really, how did that make you feel that, you put your heart into so within the sound of the music to help your film out, and then all of a sudden you win for your music? How did that really make you feel?
Honestly, I feel like I've discovered a new love with music. Like, filmmaking I always loved filmmaking, but with music, it's like discovering something new, It's a new territory that, okay, so I guess I'm good at this, Which, I mean, it's hard to explain, but, yeah, do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Trying to say?
Yeah, there's no word. You just feel accomplished that what you created was that good that you won something, basically.
Yeah. And I never won any award for any of the things that I've done. That's the first time I won, which was really strange, but cool.
Well, hey, I mean, from what I heard, anyway, because didn't you put the music that you used up on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I did.
So, from what I actually heard of that was really well done for being the first time making music. I mean, I'm kind of jelly because I kind of wish I could make music, but I don't know if I really could.
I mean, try it, man. You never know. I would say try it.
Well,
I use GarageBand. So, do you have a Mac?
I do not have a Mac.
Yeah, I mean, if you have an iPhone, I know they have it on the phone, but it's nowhere near as good on the phone as it is on the actual computer. But yeah, that's how I do all my stuff. So, I mean, if you have GarageBand out there, I feel like just go for it. Anyone can really do it if you have GarageBand.
Well, maybe I'll just have to get you on board for a couple tracks one day or something. We can help each other out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what I can do for you in return, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll give you a role somehow, like maybe over the phone or something in one of my films.
Hey, whatever works. I wouldn't mind doing a voiceover or something. Or if you need something like what that stupid. Well, I find it stupid. I don't know about you, but like the Unfriended or what is that other one there, Dark Web or whatever.
I never seen them, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'd never seen them either because they just look stupid, retarded to me, and I just I don't know if I could really sit and watch like a webcam thing for the entire hour because it just seems to be the same thing to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't change. Doesn't really change. You're just watching the events go down in this person's house, and it's just like, oh my god, the lights went out. I think there's somebody in my house, and it's just like, well, why are you at the webcam, you dumb bitch? Fucking all the cops.
Oh yeah. So you're saying like why don't they just shut the computer off? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like, shut the damn computer off because you're already giving away your position by the light of your laptop or desktop, whatever you're using. And it's just like, just keep giving yourself away, you dumb bitch. I mean, if you're even on your freaking phone, what are you going to do? Like, just hit the button real quick to call 911, and now we're listening to your call while you're trying to Skype or whatever. It's just like, come on now.
Yeah. You know what type of movies I think need to at least die down a little bit and like stop like coming out so frequently is I'm kind of a little bit tired of like paranormal-esque movies. Not to say like all kinds of paranormal. I'm talking specifically about the Conjuring type.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like 100% honestly, agree. Like that's why I'm so happy that the new Halloween did so well, because I want more like slashers, stuff like that. I kind of want to see a resurgence of those type of movies.
So you must be excited for Halloween Kills and one Halloween Ends or something. I forget what the other one's supposed to be called, even though it's already been called. But Halloween Kills is this year, and then we got one more next year, which I want to say it's Halloween Ends. I can't remember.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like the new trilogy from Blumhouse. Blumhouse.
And I have yet to see The Invisible Man, but I heard that was good too.
Yeah, I'm skeptical about it, but I did hear good things myself, so maybe I will give it a shot. But I don't know anymore. So the sad thing is with the virus that's going on now with Corona, it's like I'm already pissed off anyway. But I completely 100% understand why they did it, which is I was so excited to see The Quiet Place 2 next week. March 20th, and even though it's going to be like, this is going to be released today on the Monday of this week, so yeah, that would be what, the freaking 16th, I want to say. Yeah, 16th. So today's the 16th. Even though we're recording this on Friday the 13th. So, for happy Friday the 13th, Nicholas, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Happy Friday the 13th, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty bad that Jason Voorhees himself does not want to kill anybody today because of the coronavirus. Isn't that pretty sad?
That's funny.
All right, yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough joking about that. But yeah, no, to get back to what you were saying, though, I completely agree. I think The Conjuring itself, like the universe, just need to fucking stop. And
Yeah.
there's just way too much going on. And pretty soon it's going to be such a big universe that it's just going to become a great big garbage can. I mean, I haven't seen the new one that came out. It was the last one, the
Annabelle one, right?
No, the Curse of La Llorona.
Oh, yeah. I knew.
I think that was part of the Conjuring universe. That's what I actually heard, anyways. But I could be wrong.
Yeah,
too. And
I think it is, but it was confusing to people because they weren't marketing it that way or something. I don't really know, but that's what I'm thinking.
Exactly. It's just I've actually heard bad things about it, even though it looks so good with the trailer. And then once I heard that it was supposedly, I guess, part of the Conjuring universe, I'm like, nope, done. I'm not looking forward to this anymore.
I know, and like they need to watch out for stuff like that. But I mean, it's too late now. But a lot of people, they're just like have given up on it because there's so many like movies that a lot of people didn't like in that franchise. But here's what I'll say though about The Conjuring is every time Ed and Lorraine Warren are on screen, I'm interested. But whenever they're not, I'm like, I don't really care. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but
yeah,
they also need to stick to the actual facts, not what could have happened. If you know what I also mean. So, because they were overhyping it so much of what, in this case, didn't happen, and that's why the real people, when they were still alive, because I think both of them actually passed away now. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That you know, they kept getting angry with them because they were trying to. Well, it's Hollywood. They were trying to make something more or fictional than what really happened, and that's why I think they were more pissed off and wanted to sue the people. If they did. So this, like I said, this whole universe is completely ridiculous. It just needs to stop, like Nicholas says, and then we just need other things. And since we're on the topic of originals and stuff, Nicholas, what do you think of the reboots and remakes that's been going on? I'm just curious.
Okay, so The Invisible Man, from what I know of, is doing something different, so I applaud that, and I understand like wanting to capitalize on something that has already existed, like a previous IP that people can make money off of that they already know. I understand that. Remakes are never going to go away, but it's hard to say because there are some things that like I don't want to stop as a fan. Like if Michael Myers, Freddy, whatever, like if they completely disappeared and there was nobody talking about them whatsoever, that would kind of be sad to me. Do you know what I mean? So I think remakes help them stay around, whether they're bad or good.
Well, that's why we got also fan filmed, right?
Yeah, that's true too.
And we could say that about the Friday the 13th universe, because you know that bullshit is still in the lawsuit. Thankfully, we got fans who want to continue to chat about Friday the 13th with Jason Voorhees by making fan films. And some of them are pretty good. Some of them I'm questioning. And then there's some where we ain't going to just talk about them. So, and everything else. But anyway, before we get even more sidetracked, let's go back to Urban Fears.
Okay.
So anyway, let me see if I can even pull it up. But real quick, too, it give us an idea of what Urban Fears is.
Urban Fears is a completely slasher anthology film that's 70 minutes long with 3 stories that are interconnected. Yeah, and that's all I can say really without spoiling much. I'll say this too: each story follows a different person, and that person has a different slasher who's coming for them. And in the film, we do tributes to all the classic slashers. It's not exactly them, but say we have a Jason type, we have a Samara from The Ring type, we have a Killer Doll, like stuff like that. So like in each story, there's like an homage essentially to the classics.
Nice. I like that. And you actually have a really interesting cast as well for Urban Fears. Like you got Sean Phillips, who
Yeah, I did.
his YouTube channel there.
Cold Leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
And look like you still have the same people that you use throughout your other films as well. So especially with your new one.
Yeah.
But how did Urban Fears take off? Was it good? Was it a good response? Like, tell me about it.
So from what I've like been able to get back from it, I would say that most people had a positive response to it. Like I can't really tell you of course you're going to get negative reviews, but I don't really think that we got that many negative reviews on Urban Fears. Well, first of all, just because it's a low budget film, you're going to get people that hate on it. Like that's just the way it is. But yeah, mostly positive, and it's actually the first time that my film got accepted to a film festival, and it screened there, and it also we had a premiere screening in the city too, in my hometown. So yeah, that was pretty cool, and that was all successful.
Yeah.
We sold it out and everything.
Yeah, the rental for your theater. Yeah. Yep. Nice. Very cool. That must have been an exciting moment too.
Yeah, man, it was, and it was cool that we literally raised all the money, which was it was hard at first because I feel like people weren't really buying it, and then I put out the trailer and stuff like that, and people got more interested, and then like towards the day that it was released, you got people buying tickets that day or whatever. So yeah, we sold it out.
Nice. Yeah, I still gotta watch it, but eventually I will get around to it for sure. But I see it's also a comedy horror, which is very nice, and it's a low budget film, so we gotta realize that, people. I mean, we're talking about two people here, and I'm including myself because even though I've only made one film, it's not like we're fucking rich. It's not like we can just go out and make $1 million films, if not more, and like blow your minds that you want to go buy toilet paper for a whole month. Like, this we can only afford what we can, and sometimes we gotta sacrifice stuff. So
Yeah. Yep.
It's just a matter of finding the right audience who appreciate the low budget cheesy film, which I will admit that's what we try to make, right? I mean,
exactly. Yep. I mean that's all we really can make with the budgets that we have. Really, that's what we have to. Those are that's the hand that we're dealt with, and we have to make the best of it.
Yeah, and for two people like us, too, we can't just pay people like they're real actors. We got to actually ask people if they don't mind volunteering their time. Yep. And yes, we will give them money for like gas money or lunch and stuff like that. But I mean, otherwise, I would love to be able to actually pay money for what my friends or whoever give their time worth. Like with my main protagonist for my movie, he sacrificed so many days just to like do his roles and stuff, and it's like he should be deserving more money than what he actually got, even though he didn't really want anything. And you know what I mean? Like he was,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
he was that type of
Like
guy,
you
and that's
wish
why.
you could have given him something, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I wish I could give him more than what he actually got, because he definitely deserved more than what he got.
Yeah.
Now, I guess, what were some of the challenges with Urban Sears? Was it just the raising the money for your film festivals, or what other type of challenges did you have? And I'll probably be asking you that same question for Tales of 6 Feet Under and stuff, but just for right now.
Yeah, because every project has their own problems, you know. I mean, so yeah, like that question's still going to be relevant. Like if you ask me on anything, you know, like everything has different problems. But Urban Fears, the money raising thing, wasn't a problem. But like I said, like the people buying tickets at first was a problem because I felt like people weren't that interested. But then I realized it was because I didn't put enough stuff out to get people interested. I needed a trailer or whatever, and then I did that, so that solved that problem. But as well, like if we're talking about filming, um, it was shot like a while ago, so it was shot last summer. So I'm trying to think back on like specific stories, but I know that with each story they needed to be done in a few days because we only had the actors that we had, which were for me like family members, friends, whatever. We only had them for certain days and certain times because like school, work, whatever, you know. And so each story was shot, I would say, within maybe 2 to 3 days each story, and that was really stressful because we had long hours that went like every day we went long hours. And I actually wasn't supposed to be the last segment of that story, which, oh yeah, by the way, I'm the last segment of the story, but I wasn't supposed to be that. We had another actor that was scheduled to be there, to be that part, and they canceled on me, so I had to make up this whole thing last minute with just me. Otherwise, the movie wouldn't be finished. So I had to make up that whole segment, but I honestly think that it benefited it. Also, yeah, we shot that in 2 nights too, and I'm talking about like from midnight all the way to like early morning, 6 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock, like literally all night long. We shot for 2 days on my segment. And the first 10 minutes of my segment, and we'll get to that and tell some Feet Under too, because it's the same situation. But the first 10 minutes of my film, I had nobody else in the room with me. It was literally just me. I set the camera up and I did it all by myself. So if the shot wasn't framed right, then I had to do it all again. I had to take pictures and make sure I was in focus or whatever. That was a pain in the ass. But I honestly, because that person canceled, I feel like the ending wound up better because at the end there's a big fight scene between all of the characters from each story, and that scene that wasn't necessarily in the script, and I felt that made it was so much more of an epic or impactful ending that they were all together. And honestly, it like, even though it was stressful at the time, I think it worked out for the better, and that's everything I can really think about for that film.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're having that same issue right now with the next short film that I have. We have to right now replace 2 people at the moment, and that can be quite fun, but not really. But anyway, so where is Urban Fears available to watch, Nicholas?
Right now, Urban Fears is available on Amazon and Amazon Prime Video. So yeah, it's available in the U.S. and the UK as of right now.
Very cool, very cool. So if you like cheesy, low budget films, check that out for sure. I mean, come on, help indie people out. All right, you don't need your damn Hollywood films all the damn time. Help us out.
And if you have Amazon Prime, you don't even need to pay for it. You just watch it for free if you have Amazon Prime.
See, look at that. That's a win-win right there. You don't even have to worry about spending Would just save $3 just to watch this. See, all you got to do is just log in, look it up, hit the play button, and there you go. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, how simple and awesome is that? I find that pretty awesome. So because of that, I'm now gonna have to go and put it on my watch list. So that way, when I do have a goddamn time to watch it, I will watch it for sure, and I will review it too. So make sure you guys review it too.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, indie people need to support each other. The same. But anyway, let's talk about your latest project real quick, which is Tales from 6 Feet Under. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, this is definitely a throwback to Tales from the Crypt, for sure. And if not, then I need to just get a spanking because that's all I can think about.
It is.
Oh, I know. You had way too many Easter eggs to not say, "Hey, look, this is Tales from the Crypt tribute." It's just oh God, this is definitely. It was a fun film. I liked it. I didn't mind it. Definitely cheesy in some moments, but like we were saying, that's part of the process. It's fun to make these type of movies because we're not goddamn millionaires, people. Get it through your head, okay? And once you have that down.
Wait, you know something too? I think I realized something. When I feel like not all the time, but most of the time, we all emulate the people that we love to watch, right? Like we all see I love John Carpenter or whatever, and we all give these little tributes, and this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to essentially not be like them, but give respect to them and then become our own person through that. But something I realized is that I was like, oh yeah, there's people that I didn't realize, damn, these people are hating on low budget films and stuff. And then I go back and I look at the reviews for some of the films that I absolutely love and stuff, and I'm like, damn, they got bad reviews. Why did this movie get bad reviews? I love this film. You know what I mean? Freddy vs. Jason is rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. I fucking love Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, I love Freddy vs. Jason too.
Exactly.
I mean, dude, I was rooting for Jason. I mean, I went into that theater rooting whatever for Jason. And when he came walking out with Freddy's head, I was like, fuck yeah. Yeah.
Actually,
but of course, there's other people that are like, ooh.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But yeah, to bring back to Urban Fears, actually, Urban Fears, the end of Urban Fears is a tribute to Freddy vs. Jason.
Nice. Because you just were saying the final fight scene about it with all the characters coming together. Yeah, that makes sense, even though I haven't seen it. But okay, it would make more sense once I see it. But anyway, yeah. So Tales from the Crypt obviously was a big Easter egg there because we saw the nice little Tales from the Crypt collection of the show. And then we had, I want to say, the Crypt Keeper on that electric chair scene.
Yep.
And did I miss another one?
Well, besides little story things and our visitor character being similar to the Crypt Keeper, that was the only really upfront, in your face, blatant tribute.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So I pretty much hit it all as I was watching it. So that's nice. Yeah, I like that a lot because, like I said, that's all I could think about with Tales from the Crypt when I saw this. I'm like, oh my God, this is a nice little tribute. I think it's cool. The only thing that we were missing was the pun at the end of the show or in the beginning.
Well, that's me trying to. Oh, actually, I got a fun story about that. So originally, the character was going to be able to talk, but I even have recordings of the dialogue and stuff, but I didn't put it in the final product because. One, I didn't want it to feel like too much of a ripoff. I want it to be different, enough. And another thing about that is the mask that we used for the film can't open the mouth. So every time he talked, his face would not be on screen. And even when he laughs, his face isn't on screen in this final product right now. But like a laugh or a sound or something, that's a little bit more forgivable than a full-on dialogue that he's never on screen for. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would be a little tacky. That's why I didn't go with the talking thing.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah. Well, if you could have probably cut the mask a little bit, so that way you could at least make it so that you could glue the bottom part of the mask onto like the chin. So when the guy or like you were the visitor, as you called it, could have just glued it to your chin, and then when you talked, it should have been able to show some sort of movement. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Like I was thinking about that, but I wouldn't want to put that on my I wouldn't want to risk that. You know what I mean? Because I never did that before, so I wouldn't want to say if I tried that, then it gets damaged and we can't film the rest of the movie.
See, that's why buying duplicates is always a good thing.
Oh well, yeah, that's the thing. The mask that we use is a complete original. The guy that I bought it from only had one copy.
Oh.
Yeah, we bought it from like a haunted house place. The guy makes his own props, so he runs a haunted house, and he was getting rid of a lot of his stuff. And the visitor mask was one of the things that he was selling. So yeah, he had one mask that could open the mouth that he was selling, but it was a female character, and the character was written as a male. And also, the mask was too big because I would have looked like a bobblehead if I was wearing this mask, because it has to open the jaw, and it would be it wouldn't look natural. That's why I didn't go with that one.
Gotcha. Well, that makes a lot of sense. But maybe next time for a future reference, if you could do something like that, then maybe that would be an idea for you. If you wanted to try to make somebody's mouth move, I guess.
Oh,
I mean, that's what I was, but I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the other thing too that I was liking was how each time the tail would end, you get that nice little 30-second break before the next tail, which was nice. But I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I'm gonna say what I was gonna say, and then we can come back to what you just said. But I was actually looking into. I was gonna contact the guy that created the mask again, and I was gonna message him and say, hey, I mean, can you make the jaw move for me? I was going to try to, but I got the mask from Etsy. The guys were selling it on Etsy, and I can't find a store whatsoever. So yeah, that was so that's why it is what it is in the final product, is because I couldn't get a hold of the guy. Well, there's a bunch of reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really need to go into full detail, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, all right. So anyway, back to that. What you we're talking about. Pretty the 30-second clips within each tale. I thought it was always nice, and it was always something that I actually enjoyed too, with like other type of stuff where we get that nice little break in between stories, seconds, whatever. That way we can, I don't know, go pee, go take a shit or something, or whatever we need to do. But it's like nice because it's just like, oh man, I can finally like get my head to take everything that I just took in from that one tale or whatever.
Yeah.
And now
think about what you just seen, right? Like
and now like, all right, now I'm ready. We'll start this next tale, and then you go right in and enjoy it. Which, speaking of which, I like the Sam Hooper one. I think that would be the second one. I like how you actually did the
story.
Yes. Yeah,
what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say that's really cool how you did the editing to make it like whoop like that. I guess would be the appropriate calling of it, because like when you when we saw the first part, it was just like, oh, okay, and then we see the pause, and then it's just like, wait, what? And then like we see your character, and it's just like, I don't like it, and it's just like goes into the next one and goes into the next one. It's just like, oh, I see what he's doing, but it's really cool watching it, especially the twist at the end, which I don't really want to say, especially with our good old pal that you ended up using too as the puppet.
But that story, I would say that is the most. I mean, each story is Tales from the Crypt-esque, but that one, like, that is my favorite. That is a Tales from the Crypt type ending with the twist. That's what I wanted to do the most with that film. I want it to have like a shocking twist, and that's why that's the longest film. Is because I wanted to have more of a build up with this one because it was the centerpiece of the whole film. You know, it's like the longest one, and yeah. So I wanted people to feel like, okay, this is the meat in the sandwich here. You know, like this is this has the most to it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Another thing. Another thing about my story is, I couldn't think of what I wanted to do for my story. And oh, by the way, I don't like. You could probably notice once you know, definitely. But I played every character in that movie, and there was like the only times where somebody else was behind the camera was when I was dressed up as the killer in the movie. I guess that's all I'll say. But literally for almost every scene, 99% of the scenes, I was the only one in that room. Kind of similar to Urban Fear. So I shot that whole movie and everything by myself.
That's awesome. But that's the best way to get your film done. You know what I mean? You don't have to rely on anybody really.
And that's why I did it. Yeah, and that's why I made mine the longest story, because I know that will require the most time, so I gave it to myself. Instead of the other ones are only like 10 minutes long, so all the other actors that I used, they would only have to act for say like 2 days, like at most, you know.
Well, you didn't also have to feel like you're stressing out because you only have X amount of hours with this person before you don't have their availability or whatever anymore. At least when you're by yourself, or if you're doing it yourself, is what I mean.
Yeah.
You have all the time in the goddamn world.
Yep.
So.
And yeah, I completely agree with that. Yep.
Well, yeah, it's that one thing of like what I was gonna say to you, but I didn't want to interrupt you. With like, you know, trying to find people that are reliable is getting so hard nowadays, especially now since it's going to get harder because as we're talking about the coronavirus. So later on, maybe in a year or so, when there's no longer a coronavirus outbreak crap. When people are still probably listening to this, I just wanted to say, like, you know, people are becoming, well, even before the outbreak here, people are becoming less reliable. Even when it comes to, like, a job, you know what I mean? We get people who say, hey, you got the job, and then next thing you know, it's like 1 week they go by, and then they just stop showing up.
Yeah, and the real thing about that is I would say that people are reliable when they want to be reliable. So basically, if they're not there, that means they don't want to be there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if like that's why it's best that if you do have people, like, which is they're really hard to find, but if you do have them, then keep them. That love what you do, and like that you both have the same goals, you know, like keep those type of people, because those are the people that are going to get stuff done with you.
Yep.
If you're both on the same like page, and it'll work out.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, you know, I have my friends who I've worked with in the past, who I trust dearly, and I just love their work or whatever, that I trust them completely. I don't have to feel like I need to tell this person, dude, like, what the hell? You know, like, it's either I haven't heard from you, you did say yes, now what's going on here? Why are you ignoring my calls all of a sudden? Or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just getting ridiculous. But casting. When it comes to the casting, Nicholas, I know like I was stating earlier, I noticed a couple names that you've been using throughout your your 4 films. I'm going to say because we'll take a little pause on Tales from 6 Feet Under for a minute and talk about your fan film for Hellraiser.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, so I need to slap myself because I meant to watch it before this interview, but things just it's life.
Yeah.
Things get fucking carried away, and then next thing you know, it's just like, oh crap. But so tell me about that a little bit. So how did you do the story for your Hellraiser fan film? Because I know you were kind of asking me about fan film, and then so how did you decide on who was going to help you create that film?
Well, and that's another thing. The film's only 5 minutes long, and that's another film where, again, I am the only one behind the camera. I'm the only one in the room. That's why there's not much story in that film, but because I felt like the story was explained a little bit if you know the lore, like for the fans, and this is a fan film after all. So if you're watching the movie, you most likely know, you most likely know what the Chatterer backstory is, or at least a little bit. Originally, I wanted, because if you remember in the second Hellraiser film, when he dies, he's a kid. I wanted a younger actor to do it, but I was the only one available at the time, so I just used me because I wanted to do the film in some way. But so yeah, there's not much dialogue. It's just atmosphere, like all atmosphere and music. So what I wanted to do for that film is like I wanted to try something different. I wanted to see what I can do with another property, and like I just wanted to test the waters with fan films and see if I see if it was for me. You know, I liked the way it turned out. Unfortunately, we couldn't afford a costume for Chatterer, so what we did was we lit a Chatterer figure that I bought for like $50 on eBay to save some money. Because there was a mask available that I could have used, but the mask looked so terrible that I was like, I might as well just use a toy for it. It's only like one shot anyway that you see him because it's an origin story. So we lit it in a way where you can't necessarily tell completely, but you can, if you know what it is, you obviously can tell. But the main meat of the story is me opening the box. That's really what it is. It's me playing pre-Chatterer, opening the box, and becoming Chatterer. That's what the whole movie is about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have definitely check it out. I mean, like I said, I have, 2 films to look at. I got your Hellraiser fan film, and I got Urban Fears, because I did, was nice enough to get a screener for you for the Tales from 6 Feet Under. So I do applaud you for that. But yeah, that was real nice. Now, the other question that I have about Tales from 6 Feet Under real quick is...
Wait, for Urban Fears, real quick though, I'm sorry for interrupting, but for Urban Fears, I thought I sent it to you, but I know I definitely sent it to Darsh. If I didn't send it to you, I don't know if the screener's still up, but if it is, I'll send you Urban Fears too.
If you did, then maybe it fell into my spam folder. I did notice lately that this person who does send me press stuff sometimes ended up going into the spam folder. And I'm like, what the hell? So,
I know that happens to me sometimes too with the reviews.
So, like, I've been really trying to be careful now before deleting spam folders. So I'm now constantly like looking at what's there before I just empty out the whole thing now. So it could have happened there, but yeah, no, I do not 100% remember getting an email about the Urban Fears screener. There we go.
All right.
But yeah, it's fine, man. You don't have to send me the screener. I can just watch it on Amazon. So,
All right. Thank you.
like I said, I can give you a review, just like everybody else should. All right. Anyway, so back to Tales from 6 Feet Under. Once again, listener, I am so sorry I'm jumping all over the place, but this is Nicholas's second time, and like I said, when we first talked to Nick here, we were talking to him about Night, and then ever since then, he made Urban Fears, the Hellraiser fan, and now it's Tales from 6 Feet Under. So I apologize right now that I'm all over the goddamn place. So bear with me. Anyway, so back to Tales from 6 Feet Under, people, okay? One cool thing that, if those listening do not know or have not checked out the trailer or have seen it already, they're going to know what I'm talking about. And what this question is, so what made you want to shoot this in black and white? Because that is a very interesting setting to play with. And the only reason why I asked that too is, did you have fun trying to figure out the lighting for black and white?
All right, so I'll say this about black and white. For I think that every filmmaker, indie filmmaker or student filmmaker, I feel like there's something in every filmmaker that wants to make a black and white movie at some point. You know, I feel like we all love that, like, in some way, like we want to, at least most of us, or from my experience. So this was me, like, trying the black and white. And the first story in the film was actually not shot to be black and white. It was shot to be in color. And then black and white got decided after I shot that short. I was playing around with the color grading, and I was like, I think it looks better in black and white. And then so it went from there, and then I was like, well, black and white would be perfect because it's already a Tales from the Crypt-esque creep show thing, so might as well like have a little tribute to the Twilight Zone in there. So black and white was sort of me thinking that it looks better in black and white, and also a tribute to Twilight Zone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that answer. And I'm going to answer your question there that you sort of kind of did a question there. I'm calling it a question where you're like, well, I'm pretty sure every indie film wants to at least make a black and white film. So I'm going to say this. I've actually written a script that is actually supposed to be shot in black and white. However, get to the very end for what I'm going to say present day, which would actually be, for the record, Nick, for everybody listening, I just want to say we did talk a little bit before this, but to answer what Nick asked me off the air is this particular script, Nick, that I'm talking about would be the sequel to The Passenger.
Oh, okay.
Well, sort of sequel, but I call it the sequel. But yes. Anyway, this would be the sequel for sure because it's based off another legend that we have here, and it would do. And in this case, this would make perfect sense to be black and white because of the era this is going to be shot in.
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, because
that's another thing. Oh, I'm sorry, but
I'm just gonna say this is gonna be like in 19th century. Is all I was gonna say.
Gotcha. But yeah, that's another thing about this the film in black and white though, like my new film, is most of the time when you see black and white, you do see it in eras that have been like a past era. You never usually see it done in a modern setting. And that's where I really decided that, okay, this is definitely what I want to go with, because when do you see a black and white film that's supposed to be taking place now? You know, like.
Let me think about that. I don't know. Nick.
Yeah, see, I mean, like, yeah, like if I had to call it something, it would be like modern black and white. So they're like modern stories told in a black and white setting.
Mm. Mm. But anyway, yeah. About that second part of the question about the lighting, did you have fun with that lighting though? Like, was it
Oh
actually
yeah.
when it came to that? Did you have to do any reshoots? Because some shots actually didn't come out great when you were trying to convert the film to black and white. So did you have to do a reshoot?
Well, what I had to do was I had to brighten up some spots, but I couldn't do reshoots. But because by the time I decided to do black and white, Brian, which is my cousin, but he plays the part in the first story.
Mm-hmm.
He got braces and he looks completely different because like when you're young and you're growing, like when you grow fast, and you could tell the difference between 6 months or 4 months. So if we did any reshoots, it would be blatantly noticeable. So that's why like I was kind of stuck. I couldn't reshoot that story. So what I did was I brightened up a lot of the shots, and so some of the parts are dark, but I try to brighten it up enough to the point where it doesn't look oversaturated, but you can still see what's going on, So that was the problem with I would say that story is some of the parts are dark because it was shot to be in color, but yeah, I was trying to brighten up enough that you see still what's happening.
Well, I will at least say this: with you doing that, even though, like you just said, some shots were supposed to be in color, I actually thought it brought more of a suspense to it because of the fact that it was a little bit too dark.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And that's about all I can really say to it, because at one point I did actually have to tell Tessa to turn off the living room light because of the fact that it's that dark. So I was like, crap, I don't want to miss what's going on, so I definitely need to watch this without the light off, which is perfect because you want people to
set that mood, right?
Yeah,
like the turn.
Yeah. I mean, I love people when they say, "Oh, I gotta watch this with the light on." It's like, bitch, turn off the fucking light, and if you can, put headphones in, and then that's the real experience to all of this.
Yeah, definitely.
And
especially for this film.
Yes, I could definitely see me wearing a pair of headphones. I might have to try that actually by myself. Get some nice popcorn and stuff, and maybe just come here where I am right now with my desktop, put some headphones in, and just set a dark tone and just shut the door and just watch. Probably make it a lot more better than what some of this other crap is out there. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't want to give too much away, but so you did the music again for this, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So once again, we were talking off the air. So in this case, did you write it beforehand or after?
Okay. So for, I would say, maybe 80% of it was done before, but not before the first segment was shot, but before I decided to go black and white. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first segment actually has been done for 2 months now, completed. So I had that done, and I did the music for that. And then while I was thinking of where to go, like with the color grading and all that, to keep myself occupied with it, I started to make the music, and I got most of it done during that little period before I decided to, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think that it's gonna be a spoiler, not really anyway, but I just wanted to at least mention one part of this music. Is the reason why I brought that up too is because that one particular scene where we see the protagonist in the first part, he grabbed the Ouija board, and he goes to set it down, but the music is kind of like with him, with his like it's almost like you put it with. Oh God, goddamn hiccup! It's almost like you put the music with his body movement, because as soon as he put the Ouija board down on the counter or some sort of flat surface table, that's when you stop the music. I thought that was so perfect. Good timing, too. So that's why I'm curious if you did it before or after.
So, that one I did around the same time, but, like, how are you talking about how it lines up with the scene? I edited it that way. Yeah, so it's like, I didn't necessarily make the music to go along with every single movement, but I tried to edit it that way, you know?
I know exactly what you're saying, because that's like me with my passenger. Since you saw it, this would probably make a little bit more sense to you. So you remember the part right before the beginning music hits, where the first credits appear while the car is driving down the road, and then you see the lady walking down the road all the way to the protagonist asking the lady if she needs a lift.
Yeah.
That pretty much was literally me going, okay, if I was going to place this music here, how far of it do I need to be for footage-wise? Be right to put it so that it matches up, or it ends just as he's about to talk. And I thought I pulled that off really well, because as the music fades is when the car is stopping.
Yeah, like I watched it when it first came out, so it's kind of hard for me to like remember exactly how it went. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean the second one was probably not the right choosing for music wise, but I thought the way the second track starts and then starts to do the build up right before the passenger lunges at the driver, I thought that was a nice little build up. So,
yeah, definitely.
And so that's why I only chose those two tracks, because I thought if I did any more, it would completely kill the mood for the entire rest of the movie, especially the ending that goes right into the end credits. Yeah. But I think you're going to have to agree with me too, right? That music plays a big part with any type of movie.
Yep.
And
like if you don't have it, it's very noticeable. That's part of the reason why I actually chose not to do it in night. But it probably would have benefited night to have it. But I chose not to go with it because I wanted to give it a more real feeling. Yeah, you know.
I know exactly what you're saying, because I do remember night, and I think it would actually feel a little bit awkward if there was.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would feel fake. It's a found footage movie, so like blatant music and found footage films, it tells the audience that this is fake. You know.
Not only that, but you probably could have used some sort of music, like when the killer was getting the bet. He probably could have been like, all right, let's get some music going, to set the mood. But that's the only time. Otherwise, I really think with what was going on with night, it was definitely not necessary because of what was actually going on. I think
that's why I decided not to go with it.
Yeah. And I know we were talking about night there, so we don't have to waste our breath here. So if people want to hear us talk about night, you need to go back and check out the interview with Night, okay? All right. I'll even put that in the description below this episode, and you can just check it out there.
Yeah.
On that note, Nick, I honestly cannot think of anything else more except for... So what are your future plans for 2020? What do you want to work on next?
That's actually really interesting, because that is where, like, that question right that you just asked right there is what I've been asking myself, like, every day after I finished Tales. Is that, like, I don't actually have a really, like, great idea of where to go, like, from here. I do have sequel ideas, though, And that's what I wanted to ask you. I was like, well, you didn't see Urban Fears, but like out of the films of mine that you did see, which one would you rather me do a sequel to? Like, which one would be interesting to you to see a sequel done?
Ooh. Well, I don't know if I'm the right man for this question, but well, I will have to see here. Let me see. From what I've seen of yours, which is only 2 things right now.
Yeah.
Ooh. I would actually probably would like to maybe see another, if you could, do like a Night sequel or prequel.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, maybe not a prequel because I wouldn't really want to know why the killer did what he did in Night, but it would be interesting to see new characters for a sequel for Night.
Yeah, definitely.
That found footage view going, and especially now, Nick, like, you know, we don't have to talk about this long, but I do remember when we first talked about Night, one thing I was telling you is, well, why didn't you like have like a chat come up on the screen or something, just to kind of show us what was being said or talked about or whatever? And I forget exactly what you said, so that's why I'm saying, like, people just check out the Night interview. It'll just be that easier. But I do remember saying something like that. So it would be interesting now, since you probably have more experience, especially with the 3 films that you've done after Night. You probably could do something along the lines of putting the chat up so that people know what's being said now.
Yeah, like I know, definitely, I completely agree with you. But at the time, I think I knew somewhat how to do that, but it wouldn't have looked great. And also, another thing is that I think my like the way I thought at the time was, it's like it's different to do it without it, but at the same time, I understand why not having it now. It's not as interesting. It's not as eye pleasing to just look at like him talking when reading it would be a better. Like there's more going on the screen, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really leave you hanging, really. Especially when there's a couple scenes, and I'm not going to say what specific scene, but I'm going to try my best to try to at least let you know, like, you know, those scenes when it really starts to turn the story is what I'm going to say. It would have been interesting to see what the chat was saying right there if you were to have had a chat. Like just to kind of give a little example, be like, you know, the chat is now blowing up. Like, oh my god, like he's not this, like he is so fucked, like he is screwed, like this guy is screwed, like oh god, like it would have been interesting at that turn of the story was, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, so this is like it's slowly coming back to me now. This is the way I thought about Night when I was making it. I thought about it as like a 2-person play on stage. So it's like so that's all you see is the 2 people on stage, and they're playing off of each other. And that's kind of what I was trying to do at the time with that. And I think another reason probably why I thought that I shouldn't do that is maybe that it would be too distracting for what's going on. Like, say, if somebody's like getting cut up or something, I wanted your focus to be on that instead of the chat, what the chat thinks about it, you know? Maybe that's what I was thinking. I'm just trying to remember back, because it was a while ago.
It's fine. That's why I was trying to do my best, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, well, if you need ideas, I can give you a few, because, if you want me to cut this out, Nick, too, I will greatly do it. But where you're located, too, which is Pennsylvania, I believe, you know, your state is known for a lot of ghost stories, especially Gettysburg. So you have so much history where you are that you could play. You have a huge sandbox to play in. You know what I mean? So maybe what I would like to actually see, Nick, if you could, is I'd love to see, because I'm like a Vermont urban legend guy. You could
Yeah.
become a Pennsylvania urban legend guy.
Well, you know something? I actually do have one idea of where to go. That's a completely original story, and it's something along those lines. So yeah.
Ooh,
So that actually, yeah. So that helped me out a lot, actually. But yeah, I do have an idea about something like that. I have been thinking about it, but I just couldn't decide on what. Because I mean, I'm like, so like you got Jersey around here, so the Jersey Devil is a real thing that people have been talking about for God knows how long. But something like that. But I was thinking about maybe doing a Jersey Devil like thing, but I think creating my own original like story might be a little bit more interesting to me.
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I find original stuff would be much more fulfilling because it's bringing something new to the table that we aren't used to seeing, or
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to put it like that, because what really hasn't been done, but what is something the horror genre has not seen is probably the question you should be asking yourself.
Hmm. I mean, I feel like everything's been done before, essentially, but you can always take what's been done and put your own little spin on it. So that's what I try to do with everything that I do.
Yes, and that's what I'm starting to do too. And
Yeah.
that's why, like, when the day finally comes when I can make the sequel to The Passenger, the black and white one that I was kind of talking about,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait, because one, I already can tell you right now, I would need such a big budget because of it being the 19th century. So that means I need to look for a log cabin. I need to look for old clothes, and I just need to find the right setting to really make this tale come to life. And I want to make it so that it does give the tale justice because of how interesting the tale is itself. But of course, I had to put in my own fictional stuff, because unfortunately we don't really know the whole urban legend or folklore story. So it's like, of course, I have to make some sort of story out of it. And that's where I think the story that I made would actually make sense, but I would hope, please fans of horror as well.
You know something that like about the time period thing? That's another thing that because of budget reasons that I didn't really get to do, but the Tales from 6 Feet Under idea, like for each story, like most like all the stories, like people have died recently in my film because that's because of budget. If we had a bigger
And
budget, then
suck?
we could do a time period thing, which I would love to do. But yeah,
Yeah, and doesn't that suck when you don't have the budget?
yeah,
Well, that's why, like the script for my black and white film is 100% done, man. It's just the budget.
yeah.
And finding the people, because I am doing research on this as well. So I am making sure like everything is correct, everything to the fucking T, because I just want to make sure like when somebody watches it, I don't want them to be like, well, wait a minute, they didn't do this like that. This is wrong. I want to let's put it this way. My research was so in depth that I actually found a picture of what I was looking for a specific scene, that I actually saved that picture and I pasted it right onto my script, right where that specific scene is, just for I know what I should be filming, or like the look of it should be right before some of the horror elements come into play. But
I gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, it's so hard too, because like we were saying before, finding reliable people is definitely the hardest thing to do now.
Yeah.
And from the way the script is looking, I would need 2 males and about four females.
Yeah, that's a big cast too. That's risky.
It is risky. But anyway, Nick, it was a pleasure to talk to you. If there's anything that I ask you that you would like to have us know, please let us know now. Otherwise, where can we find you and your stuff, and when can we expect Tales from 6 Feet Under?
All right, so Night and Urban Fears are out now on Amazon Prime Video, and my Chatterer Hellraiser fan film is on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is NMJ Films, and Tales from 6 Feet Under will be out on Amazon Prime Video on April 15th.
Awesome. I can't wait to check that out. And if it's on the Amazon Prime thing, I'll make sure to watch it on there too, just so I can give you another review. How's that?
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and everybody else should fucking do it too. Anyway, maybe I should not really say it like that, but please, listener, can you please spare your time and go and review? That would make us happy. Otherwise, you won't want a visitor to come knocking on your door, do you? Unless you want the visitor to come after you, then I guess you just have a death wish coming to you. That's fine. But yes, Nick, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
We'll have to have you on again for future stuff, and like I've always, I think, said, if not, and then I'll say it now, if you ever have anything that you want to do and promote, let us know, and we'll help you promote the shit out of it. And talk about it. I will do.
And thank you.
You're very welcome, Nick. And for everybody listening, well, you already know what to do. Make sure you check out Nicholas's stuff. And from there on out, just make sure you lock your doors, open up your heart, go to the graveyard, put that flower down, and remember to just scream your heart out, because you just never know what type of fears are down your throat working in the darkness of the night. And my name is Paul Doski, and as always, I want you to stay scary.